Hello, how about now? We got sound now? I love that I do this. I love that I do this. It's so funny that I do this. Thank you. Okay, you can hear me great. Um, oh, anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, no, I mean, Hitler's not right about everything, but just kidding. I was just talking about how it's funny to get the smallest possible Mara. I'm kind of backtracking because I think I started with too large of a Mara. She starts out this big, which is already bigger than the one I've just drawn. So I'm just backtracking now so I can figure out how big she would actually be. Welcome to the stream. Now that there's sound, I will once again disclaim this and say, if you're watching this, you're gonna see scenes from the game, particularly this one scene. So it's not a completely spoiler-free experience, but I think you already know that. Classic JRPGs has huge stairs. Well, I just refuse to accept. I refuse to accept shoddy workmanship unless it's January 21st and I need to get this shit done, I have time. I actually have 21 weeks, minus a day. 20 weeks and 6 days to finish my game. That is enough time. It's not enough time to twiddle my thumbs. I am not able to rest for even a day at this point. I woke up this morning and got up to the office at 6 a.m. just to have an hour before the family woke up. And that's going to be how it is for a while. For quite a while. All right. So she seizes on the TV here and then actually tries to pull it up and doesn't even move it. So let's do that. I think I might be able to reuse that face here, so why not, right? If it fits, I think I can reuse her. Here it's going to be a different drawing. Let's see. Yeah, I think the scaling works fine. Let's do it. Hell yeah. Okay, so I'm going to use her foot placement from there, but I'm going to use this and bring her up. And let's just get the feet in place so that I can kind of imagine it, All right. Okay. To really imagine it, let's change her face. She must definitely be struggling harder than she appears to be. Let's do... Oh, that's cute. Like a little kitty cat nose. All right. Oops. What's up, everybody? Hello and welcome to the stream. I've been working all day, and I was in like hour 3 of actively looking for YouTube slop to dull my brain with, to dull my senses with, and I said, maybe, I was kind of like, I was going downstairs a lot to talk to my son and my husband. I was like, I think I'm lonely. I think these videos make me lonely. I don't think this is good. I think I'm not lonely, and this is making me feel like a lonely person. So Mike and Oscar left for the afternoon, so I am alone in the house. I was like, I think I need to at least be drawing in front of an audience. I think that is better than watching my friends on YouTube. I can't fucking do it anymore. And I realize that, you guys, some of you might be my friends, and some of you don't know me at all. So perhaps I'm perpetuating the parasociality of it all. But at least we can talk, right? At least it's a little bit more of a conversation. I can't deal with these fucking YouTube videos anymore. I can't. Like I was telling Joe the other day that like I watched one of them. Yes, my friends are Ursula's collection. I was saying to Joe the other day that I always I always start out watching a video that I think is amazing, and then I always end with a video that is specifically going after some guy who you wouldn't know about if you weren't on YouTube. And it's always about how he lied. He lied, like the thumbnail. He lied. And that's not healthy. It's not healthy. It's like it's like a platform that ropes you in with what seems at first glance like intelligent, stimulating discussion, right? Like, oh, this is really interesting. I want to hear more about this theory. I want to hear more about how this person's mind works, whatever it is. And then the vapidness of it is always revealed. And it's not always the fault of the creator. I mean, sometimes it's just like the business model that they need to use. I'm an adult. I know a lot of this shit is ad supported. It's all ad supported. It's not even that. It's just like, I'm going to pull her back a little more. It's just like, it's not even the ads. I could deal with the ads. It's that the actual content is influenced by what the algorithm will encourage, you know? The actual content of their videos ultimately is not, it's not going to be about it's not like a team of producers being like, what's our next season going to be about? I mean, I'm sure they're doing that on YouTube, but they're looking at the algorithm for that information. They're looking at their stats. Whereas, like, a production team sells their show, right? They convince the network to fund it. They're not still looking at that, right? Per episode. I mean, I guess if they're news, they are. If they're a news organization, and all of our news is being created by YouTubers now. It's a bad thing. It's bad. Are these streams 18 plus? I don't think so. I mean, I curse, but I don't think there's anything about them that is 18 plus. Why? Should you not be watching this, my friend? Would your parents be mad if they knew you were watching this? Be honest. And if the answer is yes, don't even talk to me. You shouldn't be talking to me. No, there's no. You're 28. Why are you asking that? Do I have is my stream tagged? Is my stream tagged right now as adult content? No, there's nothing on here that's adult content. If anything, there's immature content, right? Not mature content. What's my age again? Everyone's looking for the boobs. Well, look, I understand. I sympathize with the plight of the boob pursuer, but I'm not gonna curate them for you. Sorry. No, you won't find any here. This is a hentai-free zone. If you're looking for it, leave. That's one of my favorite graphics. It's I don't know where it originates from. I'm sure it was very earnest when the person who made it was very earnest. It was like it's a picture of Sailor Jupiter with her arms folded, and she's in civilian clothes. She's dressed as a high schooler, and it's like it looks like it's on a website. This is a hentai free zone. Looking for it? Leave. All right, that's how I feel. I need some stimulation. I'm bored, man. I'm doing pixel art every day of my life. I love to draw, but enough is too much. Okay. All right, that's what I want. So the next few, you're bored. That's why you're hanging out. Well, good. Good. We can satisfy each other's boredom. Oh my god. I was so sick yesterday. Feeling sick. There was nast in my throat. Today I'm okay. Alright, so now that I've made small Mara, and we agree that this isn't smallest Mara, right? I've got small Mara, and now I need smallest Mara. Isn't that fun? So I think obviously her feet probably can't even be 2 pixels wide. They they can't be 1 either. They can't be 1. All right, they're gonna have to be 2. I know, I'm a coward. All right, let's just get rid of this because it's gonna influence my my choices too much. How small can we make her? This 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 won't even be the smallest Mara. Like she's got a map sprite that's smaller. I maybe I should be drawing from that. But I need to make her both small and also making a face that is recognizable for the context of the scene. So I think I gotta do 1 pixel. 1 pixel wide limbs. Okay. Alright, let's do her face. And it's gotta be smaller than this one. Okay. Alright, so this looks about right. Like that, right? Maybe square eyes. Like that. Square eyes are not... How am I going to show her looking at the top of the staircase? I guess that kind of looks like it, but... Not quite what I want. No. A V, an upside down V, perhaps. I'm making her head bigger. Alright, I think I could make her eyes a little bigger if I combine them into a single shape. And then I think I could... That looks better. She looks really stupid. Which is good. Let's try that. Mary stream. Who's calling me Mary? My family calls me Mary. Who's calling me Mary? Did you grow up with me? Or do you have a Meredith in your life who everyone calls Mary? Alright, I think that might be it right there. If I've ever got an animated adaptation, would you want it to keep the pixel art aesthetic? You'd love to listen to it fully voiced. I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to keep the pixel... Alright, there's a few things to address there. First of all, animated adaptation. What are you talking about? I already animated it. It's already been animated, my friend. It doesn't need to be adapted. It has already been animated. Now, do you mean if somebody came to me with a pickup truck full of money and asked me to make a TV cartoon for Amazon Prime about my life story that I turned into a video game, would I keep the pixels? Well, I don't think if that ever happened, then you have reason to worry about my well-being. You should worry about things bigger than the pixel art, because it means that Meredith has been compromised. You would all know it in your heart. There's something wrong with Meredith now. She apparently really needed money. Maybe she has cancer, and she needed money so bad that she let a streaming company's nasty little hooks into her story. Uh, I don't think that's going to happen. Very unlikely. Um, very unlikely. But if it ever did, then I don't think I would be in any position to decide the aesthetic of the show. That would be up to my new overlords. That would be up to my new boss. If you ask me if I'm personally tired of drawing this way, currently, yeah, I am very tired of drawing this way. I've been doing it for months on end, and I'm just exhausted with the process at this point, and that doesn't mean that I would never do it again. But if you ask me right now, I may be vulnerable to the answer being no. At the same time, pixel art is more forgiving, and therefore a lot of the time easier and cheaper than other types of art. And Perfect Tides is a very, like, by any means necessary kind of project. I need to do this in a way that I can afford basically to lose money on it, to work on it without paying myself, and to pay other people to help me with it. And that means that pixel art is an affordable way to consider a project like that. So, that's a factor. I don't know if it was fully intentional, but that's become a factor. Did I see the trailer for Avatar 3? No. No, but you are asking a friendly, sympathetic person. I like the Avatar movies. I'm sure I will watch it. I like to be surprised, though, you know? I don't consider the trailer a part of the experience of seeing a movie. Unless you want it to be, then it doesn't have to be, you know? You don't have to do that. You don't have to watch. You don't have to watch the movie in advance of watching the movie. And if you do, like, let's be real, that's not content. That's not content. That's not the movie. So don't watch an ad in front of the ad. You know what I mean? Uh, why am I being so argumentative today? Why am I being a crab? Is it because I'm tired? No, it's because I am looking for stimulation, and it's very stimulating to complain about these things. So thank you. uh, you think James Cameron needs to step back from? No, he's doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing. I think he's pretty nutty about wanting to use AI. I think the one of the most significant reasons why his movies are any good is because he hires excellent talent to make them, not because he alone works on them. He is he's a very good filmmaker, but he must admit just how much the talent, the artistic talent, factors into that. All right, what do we think? Is that a small enough Mara? Is that small enough for you? You met the composer? Is that who's the composer? It's like Howard Shore or something. Avatar has made no cultural impact in nerd culture. Now that's a juicy little bone. Okay, I'll talk about that. Avatar has made no impact in nerd culture at all. Okay, that's a problem. Not a problem for Avatar. That's a problem for nerds. I know that nerds believe that uh, their culture is the most important. They have been complimented endlessly for many, many years now. They've been catered to. A lot of the culture has been for them. And it would be easy for a nerd to believe that, given that, the culture was made for them, and if something makes no splash in their culture, then it is completely unimpactful in any other part of the culture, and therefore just some stupid shit that old ladies like, right? Right? Is that what you're saying? Because that's what it sounds like to me. James Cameron is a populist director. Maybe it sounds annoying that I'm saying it that way, but he does not make movies for the zeitgeist. He makes movies for the people, and they love it. They love it. Let's make, which Mara am I going to do next? Boop. All right. So this one where she's kind of 36. So it's got to be smaller than this. Damn. No, wait. She's standing on a higher step. Okay, here she's standing on step 3. Oh, she's standing on step 3 here too, but she's going to be a little more like that because she's standing up straight. All right, let's just give it a try. A lot of nerd culture is consumption based. I would say that just about all of it is consumption based. Nerd culture is the perfect, like, nerds are the perfect consumer. They are primed for everything you'll throw at them. They will wait in line for an ad. They'll sit in Hall H for days, camping out, so that you can show them a trailer. They are consumers first and foremost, and it's no wonder they've had their rods lubricated for years at this point. All right, what do we got here? Kind of similar. Okay. Ooh, why do I keep moving the background? That should be locked. So yeah, no, a lot of nerds don't take Avatar seriously. It's the same way that a lot of music nerds, at least in the hipster era of music. This isn't true anymore, but a lot of music nerds didn't take Celine Dion seriously. Now, I'm not saying that Celine Dion's work is any good, but I read this book, Let's Talk About Love, A Journey to the End of Taste, recently, and it was about this in particular. This idea that, like, the person who feels that culture was made for them, uh, it gets so irrationally mad about this music and the purchase it finds with people who are not them. And who are those people? Well, the music critics think that they're old ladies and obese children. That was a critic's description of a Celine Dion fan. And it's like, okay, well, why do you think those fat kids shouldn't have something to listen to? What's wrong with that? I'm not saying I'm not saying shut up and let people like things. I don't believe that. You can tell me the movies suck. But when you say that they have no cultural significance because they didn't make a splash on your blogs, on your social media, uh, I'm not even coming after you specifically about this. I think it's an interesting thing to think about. Uh, that there are aspects of our culture that are not at all taken seriously, for reasons that I think are ultimately uh, 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 kind of like, they're like uh, discriminatory in ways that the people making those critiques aren't really aware of. They're not really aware of their own biases when they say things like that, and they're not really aware of how other people's brains work, or how culture moves through this world. Um, I feel like there's a disconnect. Uh, and I mean, we're all kind of like experiencing that disconnect because there are famous, everyone has a different idea of who famous people are now, right? Like if you ask a kid to tell you who a famous person is, and you ask a college student, and you ask a 35-year-old who's famous right now, they'll all give you a different answer, and you won't know any of the ones they're talking about. It'll all just be some person that they've been looking at on their phone. All right, so she's still on step 3 here, right? Is that true? Yeah. Okay, so I gotta move her down a bit. Why is it dragging multiple layers? I hate that. Oh yeah, people say girls don't read comics. Well, they're still obscuring that. They're still obscuring the comics are some of the best-selling books in the world. Like the New York Times bestseller list. They'll print that. And look, I'm biased because my husband draws graphic novels for children, and they're very well loved. And you will not find them on the New York Times bestseller list, even when they are selling the best, because uh, because the crowd who reads the New York Times does not want to see them there. Uh, they they don't agree that that's the bestseller, even though it is. You know what I mean? All right. Getting kind of brain fog looking at this thing. I think. Oh, this Mara needs to be actually behind the TV. I have prepared a layer just for this. All right. So what she does is she kind of stands. All right. She gets it up this far, and then she moves out of the way and stands looking at it for a second. Looks up, then it starts to fall, and she runs back over to prop it up. Okay. So there's a lot going on there, but I'm just trying to remember what I'm going for here. All right. That's it usually helps when I put their feet down. I put the feet down. It grounds me. Um, what was I saying? You'll never see the character's pencilly or whatever in the Macy's parade, but every kid would recognize it. Yeah, things that are culturally impactful to children, or or any portion of the population that is not at all taken seriously as the arbiters of culture. You're just not gonna, you're not going to see it acknowledged at all. It is. It is known by the people who sell that stuff that this is the thing that people like. They know because there is a number that corroborates that. But everyone else is trying to ignore it. Everyone else is trying to ignore the fact that like the things that actually drive these industries are parts of the culture that get no respect. I think she actually needs to be a little farther away from it and be looking at it over here. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. I'm not trying to comment on whether the Avatar movies are any good or not. I just, I do think they're good, but I just think that that's the reason that they are not taken seriously by and large. The nerds reject them and say that they have no impact because they are not the right kind of art. And I'm just saying that, like, they're not the only ones doing that. Or at least, it's not the only thing they're doing it about. There's a lot of parts of this culture that nerds would like to ignore, and a lot of them involve children and old ladies. And I'm sorry, but you were once a child, and you will soon be an old lady. You will very soon be the woman who says, Avatar has no cultural purchase. That's great, Grandma. Let's get you to bed. That's going to be you. Not like the real culture. That's coming for you so soon. Like, so soon. You say the true sin of Avatar is that it's boring? Unless it's the first of its kind you've ever seen. It was the first of its kind! No one had ever done motion capture like that. It was invented for that movie. The technology in that movie was made for that movie. It was brand new. And we take it for granted now because everything is motion capture. Story-wise, of course, no. There's nothing going on there. There's nothing going on in a James Cameron script that you've never seen before. I just don't think that matters that much. I just don't think that's very important. I think the movie has enough going on that's not an excellent screenplay. Alright, what do we think? Have video games done motion capture like that? I mean, I'm not saying motion capture didn't exist. I'm saying at the level it's at in Avatar was novel. How best to show the feet tilted? Like that? No. Let's move this up. Thank you guys. Very stimulating chat. Really helps. What else? What else do you want to get me mad about? It's true. Like the characters in a Christopher Nolan movie don't matter. You're right. Yeah, I mean, excellent story. You know, it's a virtue. It's a virtue. I look for it, but I don't need it. I don't need every movie to have excellent story. I need it to have something that ignites me. And I do think Avatar's got the goods in that regard. Alright, this Mara looks okay to me. It's not my favorite Mara, but it's a suitable one. Alright, where do we go from here? Which Mara should I work on? Take a look at the numbers here and tell me what number frame of Mara I should work on. Where should I go? Let's see all the Maras. I feel like I was working on this on the stream like a couple of years ago. You might remember, if you saw me doing that, you probably remember how bored I was and how I didn't want to do this anymore, and now I'm back. So I literally haven't looked at this in a very long time. Alright. This is probably my favorite one, if I'm being honest. Yeah, Robert Zemeckis was doing some mocap, and Mike stands by Tintin being a good movie. It is. It's fresh. It is. I didn't take it seriously at the time, but it's got a lot going on. And then I watched Polar Express not long ago. It's fine. You know, it's not bad. It's okay. I'm not going to sit through Monster House, though. I think that's his, too. Do I have a list of, Yeah, I was aligning the TV. Yeah, exactly. Do I have a list of favorite Maras? Top tier Mara. Well, maybe we'll find that out today. Alright. I guess I'm kind of tired of doing all these scattered Maras. Let's just work on a little animation. Right? Let's work on a little animation. Where should I start? Start with small Mara? Alright. Let's work on small Mara. Alright. I might be able to rotate this head. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. Sprite rotation is a bitch. But it's a starting point, you know? Gives me all the colors at least. Alright. So, obviously, there needs to be another frame here of her actually moving the TV, because the TV has already moved, but I'll make this one look like perhaps she's already struggled a bit. Yeah, yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I get a notification. I get a notification from Twitch about a stream that I've never fucking heard of that I should watch while I'm streaming. Like, you don't know I'm streaming? Fuck off. Fucking awful platform that I use for no reason. uh, yeah, what else should I talk about? Let's think. Let's think. What's new? What's new? What are the current events of the day? What can I weigh in on that'll help? It'll be for the greater good if I weigh in on it. Can I help? Can I help? This doesn't look like Mara at all. This looks awful. What am I even trying to do here? Sometimes you just gotta do a shit drawing, you know? That's my wisdom when I'm making a shitty thing. My wisdom is sometimes you just gotta do the exact thing that I'm doing right now. I love, that's kind of become my favorite brand of tweet lately, is when somebody is engaging in one of their vices and they tweet it out and then they phrase the tweet as if they're giving wisdom. Where they're like, today I didn't do anything except like doom scroll and watch YouTube. Sometimes you just gotta like turn your brain off and do that. And like, wait. I was sympathizing with you until you said that. Now I think maybe you're evil. Why are you telling people that? Why are you telling your followers who admire you and hold on to hang on to every word you say? Why are you telling them that? Sometimes they've got to do that? No. Don't tell them that. Leave them alone. Release them. I think more people need to release their followers. They've got a chokehold on them. Let them go. Tell them that you've been full of shit from day one. And set them free. I think that would be good for everybody. A little bit more of that. A little more compassion. Animation industry, is that current news? Animation industry, I've heard it's bad. I haven't worked in the animation industry for a long time, but I don't hear good things. Well, what's going on? Were there new layoffs? Good advice is from when you actually ask for it. Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes. The person has to have the person has to actually have a question is the thing. Because a lot of the time when people, even when they say they're asking for advice, they're not actually asking for advice. They just want you to listen to them. And like, you know, if you do that, then maybe you're helping them, maybe you're not, maybe you're just enabling them. But that's what they're asking for. And if that's all they're asking for, then no, you can't give them advice. They've already made up their mind and they're telling you about it. That's a little different than, can I get your advice? I feel like people who want advice people who actually want advice and are going to use it, have already done like most of the work already. Um, they have narrowed things down to a couple of possibilities, and they've already weighed those possibilities, and they're asking you to help them make a choice. And you might really be able to help that person, especially if you can illuminate for them a choice that they hadn't even considered before. But that person has already done most of the work to help themselves, is what I'm saying. I don't think advice helps. I don't think it helps. Let's do this one. Is she still on the ground here? Yes, she is. Let's reuse the feet here. And let's just bring everything up a little bit. Yeah, I just like advice is too much of an economy in this economy. Advice in this economy? There's too many gurus, too many helpers, too many helpful types. And I just don't like, the thing that I always see, the thing that I see every day of my life, every time I'm reading the internet, is somebody saying like some little bit of wisdom like this. Sometimes you just gotta turn off your brain and watch YouTube all day and eat your own shit and fart. And the replies are always, this is what I needed to hear today. Thank you. Just needed to hear this. Needed to hear this. And like you check out that person's profile, and I mean, you don't even have to. This person's never made anything. This person's never finished a single thing. Right? Like, and look, I'm not, it's okay. It's okay. But I'm just saying that the advice, I don't actually think the advice, well, all right, let me put it another way. It is what they needed to hear. But that's different from actually making something or actually like setting out to do something and achieving it. Those are different things, because this advice is for people who don't want to finish anything. They don't want to make anything. And the advice gives them permission to give up. Gives them permission to either give up or indulge the most give-uppy ethos they have. The path of least resistance. That's what the advice does. That's why they needed to hear it. Because they didn't want to do it. They were desperate to be rescued from how seriously they vowed to take themselves today. They were going to hold firm on something, and the advice rescued them from that. Oh, thank God. I don't have to do it anymore. Just what's the term? You're snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. But they were never going to do it. Joe and I were laughing about this a while ago. That like remember when Unity made all those terrible announcements about their fee structure, and everybody realized that Unity was pretty evil, and during that period of outrage about that, quite a few people either canceled their game or said that they were going to completely rewrite their game to be in another engine. And I think that's like a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Like, oh, thank God, I don't have to finish my game. Thank you. Permission granted. I don't have to do it anymore. And I think it's important. I think it's important to make the distinction here. I think it's fine that people do this. Not everybody is going to give 4 years of their life to a prison opus. That's me. That's what I do. That's what Joe does. We don't need no one. Not everyone needs to do that. Especially, not to be happy or fulfilled. I find fulfillment through this, but that is not everyone's experience, and not everyone needs to do that. In fact, some people just want to think about doing something, and the act of thinking about it, or perhaps like boring their friend with it by telling them all about it, is enough. That makes them fulfilled. They feel good, and then they go on with their lives. They go on with their lives. I find that exhausting in my personal life. I hate when a person like that wants to pick my brain, but I don't think there's anything wrong with being like that. I just find it a little annoying. But I think it's good for us to make the distinction between advice that may help us and advice that is specifically for people who are looking for a way not to change their behavior or the way they think or anything. And that's like, that's not advice. I mean, that's what I've come to call advice, but it does not function as advice, as help for anybody. It's just it's just it's a type of therapeutic like meditation, I suppose, uh, for people who can't or don't wish to uh, uh, really make anything of their own, who live in a world, who live in an environment where creativity is celebrated, but ultimately too mystifying for most people. Too mystifying, too burdensome, too hard, and they don't want to do it. They want to appear to be a person who does it, but they don't want to do it. And that's what that advice economy is for. Do I cut people off when they're creatively dumping on me? Do I cut them off? I don't cut anyone off for that. I probably don't seek out those kinds of relationships as much as I might have when I was in creative scenes years ago. I might have just by osmosis had more friends who did that, and I've since faded away from a lot of them. I would never cut anybody off for that. Like I said, it's exhausting, but it's not like so personally repellent to me that I can't stand those people. If somebody in my life who I love is like that, it's okay. It's just a little annoying. I don't cut people off for stuff like that. No. That's not a reason to cut people off. I don't have many friends anymore. I'm at an age where my social life does not facilitate a lot of new friends, and uh, uh, that means that I only lose friends, and usually just because we grow apart. We live in different places. We used to all live in the same city. We also used to all crowd into the same apartment together. And now we live in different cities, and that's most of the reason that friend number goes down and not up. Right? It doesn't even maintain. I told Mare my game idea and she laughed, so I don't have to make it anymore. It's possible that I've kind of filtered away, deep conversations about work. Uh, with I don't really do those with people who I don't think are serious about work anymore. I think from just a time management standpoint, I don't have time for that anymore. more than once in the last few years, if somebody has asked me to pick my brain about an idea that they're working on, my answer is, yeah, show it to me when you have a draft. And that's sort of my clever little way of dodging. But also, if they actually call my bluff and make something, I'll look at it. But they don't, usually they don't. So that's usually what I do. you know, I would love for my uninspired or otherwise unproductive friends to shock me with their productivity one day. I would love that. And once in a while it happens. Once in a while, a friend who hasn't made anything in years puts out something new. And I think that's awesome. I don't hold my breath for that to happen, but I'm always very happy when it does. Some people only have a few years of art in them too. Like some of the people that I thought were very creatively gifted years ago, they haven't really done anything new in a long time, either quality wise or actual like productivity wise. And it might just be that they had something to say then, and this fulfilled them then, and they don't anymore. And not everybody is an artist for life. All right, she's on stair number 1 now. I don't know if I'll be an artist for life. I mean, I probably will. I like it too much. I like it too much. I've always liked it. What would I do if I wasn't an artist? Let's think. What would I do? I'd garden. I'd raise livestock or something. I would do something very work intensive and very rewarding. And yeah, I would get really bored of that though. I like drawing. I like writing. It's what I'm actually good at. I'm not super good at many other things. But, I didn't think I'd be good at parenting. I guess my son will be the judge of that. But, you know, you let new things into your life, you may be surprised. And I think it's fine when somebody who used to have a creative lifestyle discovers that there's something else they like and something else that makes them feel fulfilled. And I wish that for everyone, especially as it becomes more difficult and more frustrating to turn art into a career path. Finding something else is not a tragedy. At least for a while, At least for now. How we doing? Yeah, she's grabbing it around the side. I don't even know if my rough drawings can be trusted. They might be a bad idea. I'm just going to have to try it out and see. Do you think people feel like they need to be artists for life because they went to school for it, or it seems like it's hard for trained artists to jump into new things? There's a bit of both. The sunk cost fallacy does affect a lot of people, where they feel like they've spent so long on something that and they've told so many people that it's important to them that they don't feel like they can recommit. That gets people in all kinds of ways, not just being an artist. People despair over ending a relationship, changing their gender. Like, people look at that stuff and they're like, I'm too old, I can't change my life so fundamentally. So that's definitely a factor, right? But what was the other one you said? Where it seems hard for trained artists to jump in and do. I think that's a part of it too. I think artists, unfortunately, in the world that we have created for people to be artists within, the industry and whatnot, artists end up being very dull as people, in my opinion. That's another reason I'm not accumulating artist friends. I find a lot of them to be dull. Uh, they don't they don't really think about much other than work, and I obviously I'm very devoted to my work too, but I I feel like a lot goes into a lot of curiosity about the world outside of art goes into that work and is necessary for that work. And I do think that artists don't seek out other things that they love and are passionate about as often as they should, both for their art and for their own ability to lead fulfilling lives. Um, they don't know what else they would do because they have made art their identity for as long as they have. All right, so she walks up and then gets around it, but she's standing on stair one. Okay. Oh, I need that. Okay. Uh, yeah, I think that's how I feel about that. Webcomic recommendations? Well, I don't read a lot these days. What have I looked at lately? Um, I guess this one's a little old already, but I last year I really got into what happens next. Um, it's a web comic about all kinds of stuff. Check it out. What happens next? Internet celebrity and people going off and changing, going off into the world and changing, and their own personal ethics, and it's about tons of shit. It's really good. Um, what happens next? Check it out. Um, recently, recently, I haven't read a ton of it, but I saw this furry comic called Wyvern that looked cool as fuck, like nice art. Um, so maybe check that one out. That's about all I've got. I don't know what else is going on in webcomics. I'm not really paying attention. Have I read any new Akewood? No. Don't you have to be on the Patreon to see that? I'm not on the Patreon. Um, I was never a big enough Akewood fan to be on the Patreon. Yeah. How is it? Do you like it? Does he still got it? All right. That looks okay. He got it back. I mean, a lot of the time people don't lose it, you know? I totally believe that, like, the new King of the Hill could be good. I think Mike Judge still knows exactly what he's doing, you know? I think I might ditch this first picture of the TV and start with this. Yeah, I think so. There's no reason for the TV to rotate. Let's start with this. Yeah, and then she gets around it and starts trying to move it. It's it's funny, like I think about this because I always think like, am I gonna go back to octopus pie at some point? Like currently signs point to no, but I don't know how I'm gonna feel, and I don't know how I'm gonna feel in a few years when I'm done with this video game business. Um, okay, so here I think I can reuse the head at least. Well, let's take the whole thing. Um, I don't know what I'm gonna be up to, but I think when I was younger, I used to be a little bit more fearful of the idea that an artist only has one trick. Um, I saw being versatile as an important asset. Um, and the thing is that it is an important asset if you are working in an industry. But if you're just working out your own ideas, I don't actually think it's important to have more than one thing that you do. You can have the same band your whole life. You could have the same three characters your whole life that you use to like explore the world. And I think that's fine. And I think, for Mike Judge, he's got Beavis and Butthead and he's got King of the Hill. And I feel the same way. I've got Mara and I've got Octopus Pie, right? Those are how I explore the world as a child and an adult. And I could just do that shit for the rest of my life. And I think I would be able to say everything I want to say through those characters. Am I related to Joe? Yeah, of course I'm related to Joe. You silly. He's my brother. He's chatting. He's here. Not to blow up your spot, Joe. It's amazing. Like, you guys don't see any other Grans on the internet, right? Yeah, we're siblings. We grew up together. You silly. For that person who asked that, Nightmare 4 lol, if you're interested, Joe and I actually stream together on Wednesday nights. We play video games together, and we talk about growing up together, and it's really fun. And yeah. Oop, I ruined the hair. Alright. I'm gonna have to make this head go up a little more. Let's get her hair out of the way a bit. Change it. Yeah, join Thingus Nation. You're praying for a Perfect Tides trilogy, though the third game would probably drop around the 10-year anniversary of me announcing the first game. You are absolutely right, and don't worry, I've done the math myself. I don't want to say anything on that front about what my plans after this game are. Apart that, other than that, I've been thinking about what they are, and I'm really going to wait and see how the second game hits. That is going to be a factor in what I choose to do next. And I don't think anybody has the ability to predict things like that. Not me or anybody else. So, oh, that's not right. So yeah, but yes, it has absolutely occurred to me that if I made another video game after Perfect Tides 2, whether it's a sequel or something else, it would take me until like basically the 10-year anniversary of making video games to complete. I've thought about that, and 10 years was enough to spook me out of making Octopus Pie. So I guess we'll see, huh? You do start to get pretty existential once you hit that 10-year mark. Is this what you want to do with your life, with your limited time on Earth? We'll see, eh? Oh, that helps. Move the nose up. Hello. Hi, Roses. Is the art stressing you out, or the or the question of spending 10 years of your life on something. I think about the question a lot. I'm uh I'm happy I ended Octopus Pie when I did. I have no regrets. I think that ending it was the right choice for me in the time that I did it. But I think that a lot of the anxieties that I felt uh, were did not actually come to pass. Um, oh, the animation. Animation is really fun, and I think digital tools make it funner, or at least digital tools make it easier because you can just try something. Um, back in the day of paper animation, you just had to like uh, you draw something on paper and then capture it on a lunchbox, which was a an analog tool. And this is, assuming the technology for lunchboxes existed. The Disney animators were just flipping pages. That was how they were finding out if something worked or not. It's incomprehensible now. They would use a lunchbox, at least I would when I was in school, which was a tool that was connected to a VCR. Well, it was connected to a TV, and you would uh, you would press a button that would take one frame of a photograph. So you could mount your animation on pegs under a camera, like a mounted. It was like an AV system that you'd roll out. You'd mount it on under a camera on pegs, which the pegs standardize the position of every drawing, and then you would press a button on the lunchbox to take X number of frame photos, right? And you would capture a very ugly version of your work to do what was known as a pencil test. Um, and then you'd have to play that back to see if your animation was working. As I said, Disney animators didn't even do that. They just held the sheets up and went like that and flipped it, and they would see if it was working or not. And you just had to be that good. Um, Digital animation has really made things easier. You can just try something and see if it works. So it's actually, I think, a pretty good time to fuck around and find out with animation. But yeah, a lot of people try animation and pretty quickly realize this is not what I set out to do. And at Disney animators dripping sweat and ruining the frame. Oh, that's fine. It's fine. You can just put that in. That's fine. Okay. Let's see. What else do I got here? And then she moves over to there. So I just need to fill that gap. Bring her over. Okay, that's easy enough. In fact, I don't even really need the background for this. I get it though. Animation is stressful. I've noticed that even a lot of people who work in animation don't like to do it. They draw storyboards, and they're like, "Wow, I can't believe like people who animate are so good." They, okay, bro. So, what do you send it? You send it off to Korea and let somebody else do it for you? I think animation is really for people who refuse to let anybody else to wait for anybody else to do the thing for them. I think that's what it comes down to. Is if you're the kind of person who is just so impatient that you can't wait, then you're the kind of crank who will get into animation. And that's what it was for me. When I was a kid, I would I would pace around the schoolyard, daydreaming about making my own movie, just making it myself. The credits rolling and it just being my name 50 times. And I was so impatient. And one time, my brother. Oh, I should tell this story on Thingus. I don't know if Joe knows it. One time, our older brother uh, was like, all that animation, they used to do it on paper, but now, they have a computer. They just do it with software. So, they just draw this drawing and then they draw that drawing and then the computer does the rest. And what he was saying, I don't know where he heard this. I don't know where he heard this. He was basically talking about the kind of in-betweening that computers can do. But he was telling me that like Ren and Stimpy was made that way. And I didn't have any way to confirm or deny any of this. So I kind of just believed him. I was like, you're telling me that if I had this software, I wouldn't need an entire TV studio to make animation. I could just make it myself. He's like, yeah, you just need a scanner and a morpher. A morpher. You just need a scanner and a morpher. This is the first time I'd heard of either of those technologies. A scanner and a morpher. A morpher is just some shitty CD-ROM software that our brother thought was industry standard. But I took that so seriously. And, I went to my parents and I'm like, I don't want anything else for the holidays. I just want a scanner and a morpher. That was all I could think about. A scanner and a morpher. I need to do my cartoons. I need this. I really felt like I needed it. It was so important to me. And my parents didn't get me either of those things. In fact, my brother got a scanner before I did. He got a fucking scanner before I did, and I had to go into his room and beg him to show me how to use it so I could use it for my drawings. And so I remembered what he had told me. So I prepared 2 drawings. I prepared one drawing of one of my characters looking normal, and one of him reacting in shock. Like, just this, and then, right? I brought my brother those 2 drawings, and I was like, please, scan them in and morph them for me. I begged him to do this for days. And when he finally agreed to do it, I was just following him around the house, begging him to do it with me. Finally, he does it. He scans in my drawings. He puts them into the program. And, as you might be able to fucking guess, it just looked like one drawing fading into another drawing. It just looked like one drawing translucency down, other drawing translucency up. That's all it looked like. Like, it's burned into my mind. And, I think that probably put me off from animation for a little while. Realizing that there actually wasn't an easy answer. This is what kids think AI is now. This is what adults think AI is now. They're like, I just need a scanner and a morpher and I can make it too. Then I don't have to wait. I don't have to ask permission anymore. The difference is that I wasn't dissuaded. I didn't throw my artwork on the ground and become Hitler. I came back to it. I learned how to do it. I decided it was fine, right? Yeah, such animation, much tweening. I decided, all right, fine. What does it take? I'll do that. I gotta manually draw every drawing. Well, that's what I thought anyway. All right, I have friends who are doing that. I'll do that. It was fine. But I won't pretend that disillusionment didn't catch me for a while. That was a hard pill to swallow right there. Okay, we got a bit here. All right. I love this. This is one of my favorite things in animation. When a character is coming at an obstacle like a big strong guy or an object, and they put all of their might into hitting or moving or pushing it or pulling it, and the frame doesn't move at all. Like no give at all. It is such an easy thing to do in animation as long as you get the the character struggling right. It is so easy and so effective. You all right? So Joe, you used an AI morpher to do in betweens, and it looked like the 1994 technology where they age progress the suspect. It approximates the position of blobs, which helps as much as an unpaid assistant. Yeah, I mean, like, what I was just saying a little while ago, that, like, for instance, oh, I think I can use something out of this drawing, and I just paste it, and I just rotate it, and I just resize it, and then I have to fix it, right? Like, that's basically the best you can hope to get out of software. A bouncing skull. Sounds cool. I always think about my dear beloved mentor, Howard Beckerman. I don't know if he's still with us. I think he is. I haven't heard otherwise. He was my teacher at SVA. I have great admiration and respect for him, and he looked like he looked like Hercules' adoptive dad from the Disney movie. Anyway, Howard said that if you go to school and become and focus only on drawing dinosaurs, you become like the best dinosaur artist in the biz. Guaranteed, your first job out of school is going to be to draw like a drop of water falling on a flower. A drop of dew hitting a flower is going to be your first job. And that's the thing with animation. You do have to learn how all properties work. You have to learn how water works. You have to learn how drapery works. You have to kind of anthropologically study the world. And I mean that's true of figure drawing too. But with animation, it's almost to like a psychotically specific degree. All right. What am I doing next? Look at the first Mara I worked on. She's so cute. I love the way her eyes look silly. I'm really into silly lately as like a cute aesthetic. Silly. Like my cat is silly. Just like, oh, silly. Silly. No, no one knows. All right. I don't know how much more I'm gonna get done on the stream. My I'm only working till 2, so I mean I guess I could keep going. Yeah, I'll do one more drawing and then we'll call it a day. Let's see what we got so far. Not much. Not really much. How does she even do that? The animation gives no hints at how this is even possible. Oh, there she makes some progress, but then she struggles desperately. And then yeah, there's much to do here. And then eventually she makes it to the top. Not easy. Favorite romance? Favorite romance. Favorite romance. Favorite romance? You mean like myself and my husband? Is that what you mean? Favorite romance. I'm kidding. My favorite romance is the one between myself and my husband. I love him. That's true love. Okay, here she's standing. So let's do this one. She's standing. All right, here she's standing on step 1. Here she's standing on step 2. Okay. got any standing ones here? Favorite fictional romance? Oh, I love how this is coming along. They're so cute. All right. They're silly. All right. Favorite fictional romance. Who do I love who's in love? Favorite fictional romance. I have to think about it for a couple minutes, I think. I guess, I'm kind of thinking about rom-coms that I like. Let's see. Her head, I'm going to guess, should be about this big. Let's compare and contrast. Her head is that big here. Oh, she's still on, oh no, she's on another step. All right. It's about the same, but I feel like she's bending down here, so it would be about the same. Okay, I think this works. Favorite fictional romance. Favorite worst romances. Favorite bad romances. I like the romance in A Star Is Born. I was thinking about Lady Gaga for a second, so that hit me. I love A Star Is Born. That's a beautiful love story. Very sad. Very tragic. I do love A Star Is Born. That's a sincere answer. I don't know if it's my favorite because it just came to me off the top of my head, but I do enjoy it very much. It feels gremlin-y. I love to hear that because that's absolutely the creature that I think of when I think of Mara. Gremlin. I actually found out that Mara means like a nightmare creature, like mare, right? It's sometimes the plural there is Mara, so you could actually say Mara and be referring to the plural of nightmare creatures. Don't date her. She's Mara. She's your worst, Mara. Is there chat you're not seeing? Oh, I'm sorry. There probably is because I'm streaming on YouTube as well. Once in a while, I try that just as a little fun experiment. Favorite Disney couple, Belle and the Beast, beast form. Absolutely. Absolutely. She glanced this way. I thought I saw. And when we touched, she didn't shudder at my paw. No, it can't be. I'll just ignore. But then she's never looked at me that way before. What an incel verse that is, right? She looked at me. But I'm gonna be mean to her because I'm so hurt. I'm so wounded. And then Bells is like, holy shit, this is fucked up that I thought this. Did I just think this? No, it's just that he's nice. It's just that he's nice now. Yeah, I saw a tweet that was like, he transforms and then he's like, Belle, it's me, Eric, and it's just like, I don't know if they mean like the Eric uh, from Little Mermaid, but I just took it as like he's an Eric. He's just like a guy named Eric, and she didn't want that. She wanted the Beast. I mean, yeah, we all agree on that. That's not hotly debated. No, yeah, he's also Eric, and yeah, yeah, his name's also Eric. New and a bit alarming. Who'd had ever thought that this could be? We were watching me and Joe and Mike were watching a little bit of The Little Mermaid the other night. You know, you turn on The Little Mermaid, it's not going off until you watch Poor Unfortunate Souls. But he had it on. He had like a 35 millimeter cut, and it looked so dope. And we just watched a little bit of it. And we were talking about how like every Disney princess in the 90s was just a rip off of Ariel. Like Ariel is the one with the, you know, interspecies fixation. Um, the Belle is a more boring version of that. And that they would never make another Ariel, but they would never make another Ariel that was like this sexy teenager uh, wearing a bra and nothing else. But also, they would never change her now. And I feel that way, you know, like there's a lot of art you can say that about. They would never make it now, but they still exploit it and they would never change it. I think Ariel is 16. Ariel is 16. Yeah, I think this image works here. True that he's no Prince Charming. Also, Ariel's dad is hot. Like, there's all these sexy scenes where she's arguing with her dad, and like his nipples are so close to her. No daughter of mine is gonna get speared by a fish hook. And he like cradles her chin in his hot hand. Really hot, guys. They'll never do it again. Ugh. What else can I talk about before the stream ends in flames? All right, so here she's just kind of walking around to inspect it. So, oh yeah, that's right. She's here. I didn't even use that as a metric, but it actually looks okay. All right. She's getting around it a little bit. So I'm basically just going to in between that now. I'm not even going to... Why does that TV change? It shouldn't. Yandir? What's Yandir? It's Yandir. Is that like sun deer? Yandere? What's Yandere mean? Yana Del Rey? Oh, I don't have... Oh, yeah, I do have this one. Yeah, like here, it's the same drawing. So, like, all right, this drawing comes back. It's on the other foot, but I think I can reuse this a little bit. Right here? Yeah. All right, let's see what I can do. See what the AI can do for me. What step should she be on? This one. Okay. Yandere is a girl who protect and sometimes attack with knives. Oopsie. Like Slay the Princess. She's like, help me. Oh no, I'm sorry. Stab, stab, stab. Is that Yandere? I've played Slay the Princess. I don't know that I have a lot of other examples. Oh, is it like Doki Doki Literature Club? I might be able to reuse some of this actually. Let's harvest. Let's harvest her limbs. I did play a little Doki Doki Literature Club. I did not quite get to the Yandere. I just very I just arrived at like this is my knife collection. But I was like, okay, I see where this is going. Tee. I did play a bit of that game. I was kind of surprised at how long it took to get started. I was like, I've been playing this for like 4 hours, and it's barely led on what it actually is, barely. Which like, in a way, I do admire. You know, I do admire that just how opaque it is. But at the same time, I was like, it's if this game is self-aware, I'm still playing the game that it's like pretending to be for a very, very long time. And I don't appreciate that. Well, I just like, I didn't have as much time for that as I would have liked. And I mean, like, I don't like to have time for a lot of this stuff. Why is it selecting every frame? I don't need it to do that. Okay, this looks okay. You're telling me I'll like the later DDLC game. You think I'm gonna get that far? I mean, look, I'll try and finish the game, but this is the kind of multiple hours investment that I don't like to hear that I need to make. I'd rather not know it. I'd rather get addicted to it and then find out there's more. In advance, it's too burdensome. I also don't particularly love finding out that the thing I'm into is part of a larger genre of that thing. I don't like finding that out, especially in advance. Um, I would rather just take it on its own terms first. If I if I knew that the things I liked were part of a genre first, I feel like that's only interesting when I'm kind of like exploring like exploring something on an academic level where I'm like I want to hear, alt music from the 80s, it's useful for that because it's like I'm not looking for a life-changing experience here. I'm looking to learn and like deepen my perspective about like a certain era of art. When I'm looking for something to like blow my balls off, I don't actually want to know what genre it's part of, if that makes sense. I just want to know as little as possible. Oh, I see. You said DDLC, and I thought you meant like some extra game on top of the. I thought you meant there's a DLC on top of it. All right, now I'm really one drawing away from being done. I'll just do this one because it's the same. This is obviously going to take me multiple days to finish. quite all right. This one's easy enough. Oh, a yandere is a girl who will eliminate the competition. She doesn't like other people being a romantic interest. So it works great for harem stories where you've got more than one girl fighting over the same guy, right? But it's like, I mean, I was really into Tenchi Muyo when I was a teenager. That's kind of like this, right? Like a girl who's demonic, right? A girl who's demonic, but she's in love with you. She's gonna ruin your life because she's in love with you. Ryoko is yandere, yeah. Okay, so all I need to do is get Mara to be. I actually Let me have her foot lift up in this one, and that way I can more convincingly have her lose her balance in the next one. Yeah, I was really into Tenchi Muyo when I was in high school. But, my problem with anime persists is that I'm not in high school anymore. I just don't feel like I can I can't feel it anymore, you know? All right. So here the TV swings forward and Mara's ass goes back. That's I I think that's what needs to happen. So yeah, like I'm going to start it with her butt because I feel like I need to show very specifically that the TV is swinging her back and she's losing her balance. Animate butt first. That's right. An important principle of animation is I'm not joking. An important principle of animation is you look where the motion is happening, and you let that lead. So like a lot of the time, elbows lead. Like if a character or shoulders lead. So if a character is raising their arm, you might lead with the shoulder first, the shoulder, then the elbow. The wrist follows behind and goes last, and you prioritize the parts that are driving the motion. So yeah, that's Mara's butt. Okay, so yeah, and also just like the head whipping back. That looks like it needs to be a bit bigger though. Just a bit. I actually, God, I wish the placement was just a little better. I'm probably going to have to in between this. What if I gave her a reaction? Yeah, it's too bad that she's there. I wonder if I could bring her a little to the. Yeah, let's bring her over a bit. Yeah. I think that's a bit better. Alright, so forget the hair. Bug-eyed Mara is definitely a favorite. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up in a few minutes. Anything else you guys want me to talk about? Nothing too compelling. Alright, so I'm gonna think. I'm thinking her arms stay on the TV, but they visibly they visibly move back and she loosens her grip. She makes the AIM notification sound, yeah. Mars still does use AIM in the year 2003. It hasn't changed. Let's see if I can, yeah, get her little foot in there. Oh, I can actually line it up. Yeah, that's good. You know, it's not absolutely perfect, but I feel like everything's kind of consistent. Alright. So, yeah, I feel fine about this. Just going to add a little bit more. This is definitely the most I have had to draw in perspective with pixel art. And like animate in perspective. And you know, it can't always be perfect, but I'm trying to make it as perfect as possible. Not perfect, but you know, as convincing as possible. Sometimes you just gotta do shit drawings that suck and you don't put any effort into them. That's my wisdom for you guys today. I needed to hear that. Sometimes you just gotta like not study anatomy or the old masters at all and just draw like shit for your entire life because you're too scared of what it would actually mean to be good, to be comparable to any of them. And you just have to like be self-defensive and surround yourself with people who will compliment you for the rest of your life so you never have to think about it. Sometimes you just gotta do that, you know? Do I want to raid your stream? Yeah. How do I do that? I just type raid Joe. I type /raid Joe. I'm going to do it for the first time in my life. Can I give Mara a nose? Nose? That's kind of funny. Yeah, I can give her a nose. When you're live. Okay. Go live because I'm just about done here. I've just about had it up to here. Thanks everybody who hung out today and either asked me questions or got me all riled up about some shit. That was fun. It really helps me to work and stay focused, stay stimulated, and all that. So thank you very much. And I don't know. Should I keep working on this on the stream? Maybe I'll try again on Monday. Work on this a little bit. All right. Whenever you're ready, Joe. Say the magic word and I'll raid. Is that gonna raid your live? Alright. Raid Joe? I typed it, but it doesn't appear to have done anything. Oh, raid. I just wrote Joe! I don't know if it's working because I'm using the restream chat. Let me see if I can I just use not restream chat? Regular chat? Raid? Yeah, I'm using... all I can... yeah, this is all through restream, unfortunately. Where is my non-restream doc? Can I have this? Let me, yeah, no, Restream just fucking, takes over my, takes over my whole chat. Reply commands? Improve your communication. No, I just want to use it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, Joe. I'm sorry. I don't know how. You can? Oh, you can just raid me. Yeah, just log in and raid me. I mean, log in and raid yourself. Then I wash my hands of the whole thing. Bye, everyone. Whenever that will be. Any luck? I can't tell.